You are about to participate in a great adventure.
I swear, this team is on a whole nother level.
Hit in the air to deep right center.
They are not a championship contender.
That is far.
Hold on, shut up. He is the best player on the field.
Hit is high.
He is the MVP right now.
It is gone.
You're listening to the Tom and Jerry Sports Show. What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to another episode of the Tom and Jerry Sports Show. How's it going, Tom?
Not too bad, man. How you been? How was your weekend?
It was good. I had a few good games over the weekend.
Yes, we definitely.
Whether it be in basketball or hockey.
Yes, definitely.
We'll get into yesterday's games in the NHL. The Kings lost to the Red Wings 3-2. The Blue Jackets lost to the Oilers 3-1. Bruins beat the Sabres 3-1. Lightning lost to the Rangers 5-1. Devils beat the Penguins 3-1, and Blackhawks beat the Predators 3-0.
Clearly looking like the best team in the league right now.
I mean,
Chicago.
They haven't lost in regulation. The only team so far to do so. The Devils are looking real good.
Yeah. There's a couple teams. A lot of people picked the Blues to do good things, make it to the Stanley Cup this year. The Sharks are looking good, but Sharks are like that regular season team always. You know, you never know what you're going to get at the playoffs with them. I mean,
and then you look at the Kings. The Kings are reigning Stanley Cup champions, and they're 3-5-2 so far.
Well, I mean, they barely made the playoffs last year.
Yeah, they got hot at the right time.
Hot at the right time, so maybe, you know.
Yeah, but
this isn't how they wanted to come out of the gate, though, obviously.
Tonight there is 6 more games on. We got Flyers at Maple Leafs, Hurricanes at Islanders. Hopefully the Islanders could get off the snide.
But, you know, as you said before, Mr. DP's back. And,
we'll see what we can get out of DiPietro. Actually, over the weekend, the Islanders did make a trade for Tim Thomas.
Now it's just whether he's going to play ever or not.
That's the thing. They traded for him because the Bruins needed to get under the cap, and the Islanders had to make the minimum cap.
Mm.
So he's still probably not going to play, most likely not going to play this whole year. And the Islanders are hoping that he may play next year, but he may retire.
Yeah.
So, you know, you never know. It did look like a good trade at first, and then when all the details started to come in, kind of looked scary for the Islanders. But also we got the Sharks at the Blue Jackets, Kings at the Blues, Coyotes at the Avalanche, and Wild at the Flames. So it's going to be a good night of hockey.
Yeah, and I think the biggest shame with hockey this year is that there's going to be no All-Star break.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a very exciting All-Star thing with the hardest shot and the skills competition they have.
Yeah, it's one of the best All-Star games.
Definitely one of the best.
Like All-Star weekends of
And, of course,
sports.
you know, the Winter Classic, we didn't get that. That's always fun to watch.
Yeah.
You know, seeing hockey outside. But, I mean, at least we did get hockey back, but it's...
Yeah, exactly.
It stinks not seeing those little things that you like.
Yeah, last night there was a few good games in the NBA. Usually Sundays are always good for the NBA.
Yeah.
We had the Clippers at the Knicks. The Knicks lost this one 102-88. Carmelo did score 42 points. 1 assist, though.
Yeah.
So this is the problem with the Knicks, but we'll get into that later on in the show. The other big game, Lakers at the Heat. Lakers kept it close the whole game until the fourth quarter. They ended up losing 107-97. It's sad because nobody else is there to help Kobe.
Yeah, and you can see that, how hard he's trying by himself.
Yeah. I mean, he had a very good game, 28 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists or something like that. So it's, actually had 9 assists and 8 rebounds.
And I just, one thing real quick with Kobe, and he's been opening his mouth about Dwight Howard the last week, saying basically, man up.
Yeah. He never came out and said, "Oh, man up."
Yeah.
But he kind of like beat around the bush.
Yeah, he worded it differently than that, but that's basically what his message was. But there's a lot of hate with Kobe, but especially for like what he said. Just people saying just be quiet. You don't know how hurt he is, but when you see the effort this guy puts in every night on the court
for his age
and
for the
miles
injuries
on
that
his knees,
the injuries that he's had.
And has played through in the past 10 years.
He's played with a broken finger on his shooting hand. He's played with torn ligaments in his shooting hand. Mm-hmm. He has no cartilage left in his knees. So it's for a guy this great, you can say he's top 5 ever to play the game, even top 2, whatever you want to call it. He has the right.
That's exactly what my point was. Yeah, my point was that, he's allowed to. He's a winner.
Exactly.
He hates losing more than anything else, and you can see it with how passionate he is every time he's on the court. I mean, getting those 8 rebounds. I mean, we're talking about Kobe Bryant, who's been playing in the league for 17 years already.
Yeah.
Still getting those rebounds, still trying, still doing everything he can. He has the right to say whatever he wants to a team, and if they're not giving that same effort he is.
Yeah, and Dwight Howard has never won.
Mm-hmm.
He's never really had a bad injury until his back injury.
Yeah.
And you really can't say anything about his back because the guy did have surgery on his back. The back surgeries or anything like that is one of the most dangerous things. So you don't want to mess with that. But he does have a torn labrum, partially torn labrum in his shoulder. But they said he's hurting. He's not injured. Mm-hmm. He can play with it.
Yeah.
And this is why Kobe's saying, you have to deal with the pain and come out and play.
Dwight's always been me.
Exactly.
He's never been team, and Kobe's trying to get that out of him. He's doing everything he can to get that out of him and get him committed to this team. And like injuries are injuries, but when your team's struggling the way you are and you're the best center in the league, you gotta do what Kobe. You gotta man up. You gotta get in there.
Exactly.
You're the best center in the league for a reason.
A very good game last night was the Celtics and the Nuggets.
Yeah, crazy game.
Celtics won in overtime, 118-114. Actually, it was triple overtime.
Yes, Paul Pierce ended up with a triple-double.
Yeah. Garnett had a double-double also.
I think this is 7 in a row for the Celtics now without Rondo.
Yeah, I mean, they're hot right now, and it's amazing to see. And, you kind of have to ask yourself, are they better off without Rondo?
Yeah, there's 2 ways to this. I mean, because Rondo's obviously the best player on the team.
Yeah.
But they're playing better without him. So it's kind of, it's yin and yang. But it's just that Rondo doesn't really fit their style anymore. They're too old. They're too half-court for Rondo.
Yeah.
And they're showing that now because, they're slowing it down without Rondo.
They could get a lot for Rondo, too.
They can definitely get a lot.
So,
I mean, this winning streak may not help his case with that.
Yeah.
But, no, Rondo's one of the best point guards in the league. I personally think he is the best.
Absolutely.
Everyone loves Chris Paul, and I'm not taking anything away from Paul. Rondo is the best rebounding point guard, and that's why I give him the edge.
Yeah. Also, we had Raptors and the Hornets. Raptors took that 102-89.
They've been playing better since they got Rudy Gay.
They've
been playing a lot better.
Rudy Gay hit a game winner the other day.
Yeah. They have a couple nice wing players like that. Terrence Ross, Rudy Gay now.
Yeah. Also, we had the Magic and the Trailblazers. Magic took that 110-104. And Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. Grizzlies took that 105-88. So, we can also go into, how, can the Lakers win?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they need to go out and get something.
Yeah.
Because not having Gasol for 6 to 8 weeks, whatever it's supposed to be, it's not going to cut it.
Yeah.
They had times yesterday where they just did not have a center in the game when Dwight Howard was out, because they also have Jordan Hill, but Jordan Hill's out for the season. So they're decimated with injuries right now with big guys, and their big four has really never been on the court for more than maybe 1 or 2 games.
And we can probably say Nash probably still isn't at 100%.
Oh no,
not
at all. He's really, really getting killed on the defensive end.
Yes.
Really getting killed. I mean, guys
are. Kirk Heinrich had a career night against them.
Chalmers had a good game yesterday. It's just, he's never really been known for his defensive end of it.
Yeah.
But he was also, he was decent.
He was better than this, obviously.
Exactly. And it's not helping right now. Right now, the Lakers are really killing themselves with turnovers also. But I would like to see them try. I mean, it's sad to say, but, you wish if Gasol was going to get hurt, you wish Gasol would have got hurt a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Because they could have went out and got Chris Anderson.
Yeah.
So
he looked like he was going to be in Miami for a little more than 10 days.
Yeah. So you look at it. I mean, there's really nobody out there.
Yeah.
The only one that maybe you can go after, maybe Greg Oden. Maybe Kenyon Martin.
Yeah, I think Odin is taking time off till next year or something like that, I believe.
Yeah, so you don't know really. They really need something because Earl Clark, very good player. He's just not a center. He's not a block. He's not a
pure center.
Yeah. So
that's my thing with this team is I just don't know how committed Dwight Howard is to this team, and I don't know if he's gonna stay there long term. Because watching his press conferences and how he answered Kobe's, man up thing, there's just so much me in him.
Oh, yeah.
There's just so much of that in him. I just don't see him being committed to this team. He's always been about himself, and I think he's going to be the same way this summer.
Well, the thing, they just came out with 2 reports from Hakeem Olajuwon, who practices with Dwight Howard in the off season and on days off or whatever, and he came out and said that Dwight wanted to go to L.A. He pretty much said that he told Orlando to trade him to L.A. And also that he loves the city, he loves everything, he loves the organization, and that he and it sounds like he wants to stay, and then also Rashard Lewis, who was a teammate for 4 years with Dwight Howard. He said that he loves the city, he loves the organization. The Lakers are all about winning championships.
Well, he needs to come out and
he has
say
to tell
something about it.
He has to tell the Lakers that, because now it's like
everyone has a perception of him.
Do they trade Pau Gasol, or do they keep him because they don't know about what's going to happen with Dwight Howard? Because you lose Dwight Howard, and then you end up you earlier in the season you traded Gasol. I mean, you really have nobody.
Yeah.
So
I would have traded Dwight before I traded Pau, even if Pau was healthy.
But you can see with Kobe.
Dwight. Yeah,
he's trying to keep Dwight here because he knows that his time with LA is towards the end.
He's trying to win,
and he wants. It's not even that he wants to win. He wants to keep the Lakers in that
what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
that's another thing. That's just another great asset about Kobe. Players retire and then they'll move on. Kobe wants his team to stay great. He wants them to stay as they are, and that's just the person he is.
And I'm hoping that Dwight Howard really embraces the whole thing with Kobe. Figures out how to play with Kobe. Kobe's doing everything for him to be successful. I mean, in the beginning of the games, he's always trying to hit him, try to get him going. So it's. You want Dwight Howard to stay.
Yeah, obviously. And then another, just really quick, but Dwight's never had a player like that would get into his face.
Yeah.
He's never had that, probably in his whole life.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a little bit of an adjustment period with that. He's just not used to someone getting into his face player wise. So maybe he just had to get over that a little bit. Yeah. But I mean, this should work,
hopefully.
So we'll see.
But we'll get back to a few things with the Knicks, and then maybe a playoff MVP race later on.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
little discussion of if we think Carmelo can
yeah,
ever get the big one.
Can Carmelo win an NBA championship?
So find out when we get back.
Yeah, you'll definitely find out when we get back.
Voices in the air, I hear 'em loud and clear, telling me to listen. Whispers in my ear, nothing can compare. I just wanna listen.
As my world turns, the heart beats, not only in my chest, but the heart in the street. So when they feel this, they feel.
And welcome back to the Tom and Jerry Show. Before we left you guys with if we think Carmelo would ever be able to win the big one, not just with the Knicks, but in general, wherever he is.
Yeah,
And
my opinion is no.
yeah,
He'll never win a championship. Never.
he'll never win a championship being the main guy.
No.
I could put that.
Yeah.
You can put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't say he'll never win it because we don't know where he's going to end up in his career, obviously. But with him being the main guy, the best player, he will never win.
No. See, like the thing is with him is, yeah, he's one of the best scorers to ever play the game.
Yes.
Like
Just a natural
we can say
scorer.
that. We can say that
Yes.
he is one of the best scorers to win to play the game. But there's other components
Yep.
to the game, and you know what? You look at Kobe Bryant, you look at Michael Jordan, you look at those guys that were pure scorers, but they did the other
Yes,
parts of the
exactly.
game. They might not average a double-double, a triple-double every game. They might not average 10 assists or whatever. But there's other points to the game where, Carmelo had 42 points last night, 1 assist. It's not going to cut it.
He had 42, and the team had, 88 as
Yeah,
a total, I
yeah.
believe, 87.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that right there just shows you he's...
See, that team, the Knicks are, of course, yeah, they are, the second best in the East.
I would... Record-wise, they may be,
Record-wise,
but I would
yes,
put
they are the second
Indiana and, if not Chicago, over
I
them.
don't think they're beating Chicago.
I don't think they're beating Indiana
I
or
don't think
Chicago.
they're definitely not beating Miami.
No,
it's not happening.
that's a given.
They might have beaten them this year, like
Yeah.
in the regular season.
Let's not
It's
get too
hap-
hyped.
It's
Yeah.
not happening in the playoffs. Michael Jordan, he was a pure scorer,
Mm-hmm.
but he played defense.
Yes.
One of the best defensive players in the league. Kobe Bryant, one of the best scorers in the league, yes. But the guy on the defensive end was
I believe 12-time.
12-time all-defensive player. He was 9 times on the first team, 3 times on the second team. Out of 12, that's 12 years out of his 17-year,
And probably the only
career.
reason he didn't make it the other years was because of Bruce Bowen at the time.
Bruce Bowen, yes.
So that's probably who was getting the nod over him.
Dwayne Wade also.
Yeah, so it's
So
understandable, the couple years he had off, but
yeah.
Melo's never even
Melo's
made it.
never made it on an all-defensive team. And let's just say all NBA team. He's only been on the third team 4 times. He's not been on the second team. He's
Yeah.
not been on the first team. Now you look at Kobe. Kobe's been on the All-NBA first team 10 times. Twice on the All-NBA second team and twice on the All-NBA third team.
Mm-hmm.
So right there, it's just, it's amazing to see, what the difference is. And Kobe is one of the best defensive players in the league.
Yes.
Carmelo doesn't even know defense. He really
Not
doesn't.
like that.
No. And then even if you want to bring in LeBron does everything in the game.
Yes.
He knows how to pass the ball, knows how to rebound the ball. He knows how to play defense. So
His defense is probably his most underrated
Yeah.
aspect about him.
Because the thing with him is he's such a big body,
Mm-hmm.
and he's so athletic. Not many, small forwards are that athletic
No.
than him, and
Or even close
his
to
size.
close to his
So-
size. So
So he's been a 4-time All Defensive First Team. Then All NBA he's been 6-time First Team, 2-time Second Team. You could go on and on with his career highlights. Same thing with Kobe.
yeah.
So it's really there's really no Yeah, and also Kobe's a 5-time champion.
Yeah. My point I want to make about Melo is the great ones that we're talking about, Michael Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. Each year in the offseason, they find something to work on. That was their weakest point of their game. LeBron James 3 years ago did not have a 3-point shot. Did not have a post-up game.
He had no back to the basket.
He had nothing like that. You watch him now with the the little spurt he's on with the high field goal percentage. It's because he's going back to the basket.
Yeah.
That's what he works on in the offseason. Carmelo has not, since he came in the league, he was a scorer when he came in, and he's still a scorer now. He has not done anything in any offseason to improve his defense, to improve anything else, to improve passing. He hasn't done it. Same career stats he's basically all had. He's a natural scorer, but he's done nothing to make his game better in other aspects. Yeah. Kevin Durant, probably the same thing as Melo, natural scorer. But Durant is in the offseason, he does things for defense.
Yeah.
He's working with the best. He works with LeBron in the offseason to learn from him, to get pointers from him. Melo doesn't take those. He doesn't do that in the offseason.
See, now, like, with Durant, I don't know if he can win a championship either. I mean, yeah, he's clutch. Yeah, he's probably the best scorer right now.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't know. I don't know if you can win with Russell Westbrook.
I was thinking the same thing. They're not going to be able to get over the hump.
I don't know if you can win with Russell Westbrook. He takes so many shots away from Durant. It's unbelievable.
And I mean, I'll give them. They went to the finals last year. They had a nice run.
Yeah.
But the biggest fear with that team is Russell is going to want the spotlight in the playoffs.
Of course.
And he's just going to start chucking them.
Yeah.
And he has to realize he's not the best player on that team. It's not not close. Kevin Durant is by far. It is not Russell's team. It is Kevin Durant's team, and that's just what's going to hold this team back. And it's a shame because you can see shades of like a Karl Malone type, never being able to get over the hump.
Exactly.
And I mean, when you got the superstars in South Beach with LeBron and Wade, I mean, it's a tough. Yeah, it's tough to get over.
It's always going to be tough.
And the West is no joke. I mean, it is 8 teams deep.
Yeah. The Spurs, the Duncan and Ginobili
you can't
hurt, but
they had the most important thing, and that's Greg Popovich.
Yeah. And Tony Parker is one of the best point guards in the league.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's so underrated.
I think he's underrated.
He's so underrated.
Yeah, it's like he's not even like people don't even really bring him into the because you have Chris Paul, you got
there's not a point guard that can drive the lane like Tony Parker.
You got Darren Williams, you got you guys like that. I mean
all these flashy point guards. That's what it is.
I don't like when people put up Russell Westbrook in there.
No,
Russell Westbrook, don't get me wrong, is a good shooting guard.
He's too much of a hybrid to be called one of the best point guards in the league right now. He's too hybrid.
I don't see him as, you look at Rondo. Rondo's passing and rebounding.
Yeah.
He's not known for his shooting. His shooting's starting to get better. I mean, it's sad because you don't know what he could have brought for the rest of the season because he was on such a roll.
Yeah.
Before he got hurt. But then, you look at, Darren Williams shooting and passing. Chris Paul shooting and passing. Rondo, like I said, rebounding and passing.
Mm-hmm.
Westbrook really, I mean...
He looks to shoot. The only assists he gets are usually just a quick pass to Durant, and he puts them up. Those are basically the only assists he gets in the game.
So, I mean, you look at these teams like this, can they win? I don't know. Knicks, I don't ever see winning the championship with Melo. I don't see it because they're so set on, shooting the ball from 3-point range. And I've noticed from watching the Knicks, you watch them come down the court, there's one pass. One pass to maybe a guy outside.
And that's the difference in the playoffs is it's all half court. It's all slowed down. It's all key passing and
now
hitting the wide open guy.
J.R. Smith having a great season. But with J.R. Smith, it's either he's hot, where he's hitting every shot, or he's cold and he's taking 20 shots a game and is
basically
only hitting like 5.
To win that game.
So, guys like that, you can't win with a Carmelo. You can't win with a J.R. Smith. it's and even Amari Stoudemire hasn't even gotten off the snide.
Yeah.
So it's like,
There's just too many. They're like a flash team,
Yeah.
It's a nice team to get excited about, but
Yeah.
don't get too excited. That's
They're-
basically all I can say.
they're in the bottom of the NBA in assists. I mean, I think Sacramento
Mm-hmm.
and I forgot the other team that's involved in that.
And
But
they
they're-
score so much too, and
Yeah.
that's
And you know what? Their defense has been better than it's really ever been.
Mhm.
And that's the thing that's keeping them around right now. That's why they're number 2
Mm-hmm.
in the East. So it's like, you don't know. I don't ever see Carmelo winning a championship.
Yeah.
It's just
I'll put like the Knicks and the Clippers in the same thing. Like they're both doing really good now,
Yeah.
Stat wise and everything like that. I just don't see them being able to get over the hump.
See, the Clippers, why they were hot, so hot in the beginning of the season was because they had guys like Matt Barnes, who was
Yeah.
hitting almost every shot from three-point range when he came off the bench. You had Odom, who was hitting almost every shot that
Yeah.
he was coming off the bench. What helps now is that they got Billups back, so that would be nice to see.
And I mean, they still have a bench. I'm not saying they're a good
Yeah.
team. It's just
But they have a shooting bench.
yeah,
They have a
and-
shooting bench.
And their starters,
So-
besides DeAndre, obviously has size. Blake's not a true big man,
No.
and I think that's what's gonna hurt him in the playoffs.
But even DeAndre Jordan,
He's not-
DeAndre
yeah, he's
Jordan
not-
is a high flying
High flying, getting rebounds.
center. Yeah. So he's not an offensive.
And I think that's where the problems are gonna lie in.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Chris Paul needs people to give the ball
Yeah.
to, and Blake Griffin taking jump shots is not gonna do anything.
And
for that
even
team.
like watching the game yesterday, there was times where Blake Griffin would pretty much see a shot go up and just start running down the court.
Yeah.
Without
Yep.
even getting a rebound.
Yep.
He's all he wants to do is dunk the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he wants to do is dunk the ball.
And I don't believe in
So-
the Clippers because of their starters.
Yeah.
I'll give them the bench. They had the best bench player
But
in the game.
even Chris Paul's never really
No.
won anything either.
Yeah.
For as good as he is, for as great as he is, I mean he hasn't been clutch really.
Mhm.
So, but you look at the teams like that, and you really think about it, and there's really no way of seeing them trying to
Yeah.
win a championship.
And especially in the West, you just get so beat up in the playoff
Yeah.
series because of how good every team is
Yeah.
that even if the Clippers get by a first round matchup, they're probably going to be exhausted
Yeah.
because of the first round. So it's teams like San Antonio are just built for the playoffs. This is just what they do.
Yeah.
Year in, year out. They're quietly one of the best teams in the league
Oh,
always.
of course.
And they're my personal favorite to come out of the West right now.
Quick news: the Nets are seeking a trade for Josh Smith. Supposedly, they're going very hard for him.
Yeah.
They were also in trade talks with the Bobcats for Ben Gordon.
And I think it's going to be one or the other of the trades happening.
Well, they said Josh Smith is their, primary.
Yeah.
Also,
But it's going to be a little hard to get Josh Smith because of
Yeah.
what Atlanta wants a big man in
Yeah.
return. So Nets would have to get a third team involved,
yeah,
which is going to be tough. And in order to, they were going to give Atlanta Chris Humphries,
yeah,
but they were also going to give Charlotte Chris Humphries for
Yeah.
Ben Gordon.
yeah. So
So it's
I think it's Josh Smith that they're gonna go for first.
I think they're going to do everything they can.
Yeah.
But worst comes to worst, I think they're most likely end up with Ben
Yeah.
Gordon.
Well, we'll be back with the MVP race.
Yeah,
Who we think is gonna maybe win, or what it's looking like right now, and then later on we'll get into other sports news and maybe even trade talks that the Knicks are in. You'll just have to see when we get back.
And welcome back to Tom and Jerry's show. Before we left, we left you with who MVP race, and I think it's pretty clear. There's the front runners, and that's pretty much what it's going to stay. And that's obviously LeBron, Durant, Kobe, and Melo as the fourth right now.
Yeah.
And what do you think? Who do you got right now?
Well, we'll go over the stats right now. We got Kobe Bryant with 27.4 points a game, 5.3 rebounds a game, and 5.4 assists a game. Then also you go to LeBron. LeBron is averaging 27 points a game, 8 rebounds, 6.9 assists.
Basically
rounded
7.
up. Yeah, rounded up to 7. Then you go to Carmelo. Carmelo's averaging 29 a game, 6 assists a game, and close to 3 assists. 6 rebounds a game, close to 3 assists a game. And then you go to Durant, 28.9 points per game, 7.5 rebounds a game, and 4.4 assists a game. So, you look at the teams really, and the players. I mean, most valuable player. I'm gonna say right now, I think it's going to LeBron.
Yeah.
I mean, it pretty much happens every year. I would really like to see Kevin Durant win, because I think he deserves it. I mean, for what he's putting up, it's it's kind of nuts.
Yeah, and like with what the MVP means, the most valuable, obviously that would be LeBron, just because of all the aspects he covers on the basketball court. But honestly, the Thunder would be nothing without Kevin Durant.
Even if you look at how, like you just said about the Thunder, same thing goes with the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers I don't even win probably 85% of the games that they won so far without Kobe.
Yep.
Kobe, even when he went on that spurt where he was averaging like 9 assists a game, that doesn't happen without Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
They don't win those games without Kobe. So it's like, it could be.
And the Heat won previously without LeBron.
Oh yeah.
So,
and
I
that's
think when
the
the valuable thing comes down to how would the teams be without them, basically. And I think the Thunder would be the worst off without Kevin Durant.
Yeah. Because Russell Westbrook
would just run that team into the hole, basically. And I understand your point on Kobe. The Lakers would be, especially right now this season, they would be the bottom dweller if they didn't have Kobe.
Oh yeah.
And the thing with LeBron is it's basically Michael Jordan all over again, where they could just give the MVP to one guy.
Yeah.
And no one can really argue it because of what he put up. But I mean, you would like to see the NBA like mix it up at least, because it's just too obvious. Like, yes, we all know LeBron's the best player in the world. We know that. But that's not the point. It's how valuable is he to his team.
Exactly. Now, say he goes out with an injury, you still have Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
You still have Chris Bosh. Guys that are
Exactly.
really in the top,
Exactly.
players of the game right now. But if you look at, then you look at like the Knicks. The Knicks are 32-17. But you look at last year, what happened when Carmelo went out? They went on a 7-game win streak.
Yeah.
So it's like, you look at it, they went on the win streak with Jeremy Lin. That was that Linsanity, part. You look at Miami. Miami is 34-14. Oklahoma City's 39-12.
They're just
and the Lakers.
What they've been doing the past week. I don't know if you've seen. Durant and Westbrook haven't played in the fourth quarter in basically a week.
No,
because they've just been blowing out every team they play.
The Lakers are 24-28. Now, if the Lakers do somehow make the playoffs, I think you really have to look at Kobe Bryant.
He just, and it's nothing against him, obviously, but he just never gets the MVP votes that he deserves, especially in his prime.
See,
what does he have? Like 1 or 2? 1?
He's got 1.
That's absolutely unbelievable.
The 1 year that he's had, I think, career numbers he didn't win it. But then the next year, he had all right numbers, like, regular decent Kobe Bryant numbers. I mean, better than anybody else's numbers, but decent Kobe Bryant numbers. He ended up winning the MVP. So it's like, you know, you kind of look at it. Do these guys that vote, do they really look at the numbers?
Mm-hmm.
You know, or do they really?
There's more than numbers and importance to the team and the leadership. I think should have a lot to do with who gets MVP.
I mean, once again, San Antonio is under the radar again. They're 40-12. They got the best record in the league. And
Tony Parker gets nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Same thing with Duncan's having a good season too before he got hurt.
Parker should be in the MVP talk. Yeah. I mean, we're bringing him into it right now because we see, what he's done and
literally
how amazing he's been.
I have not heard anything about the Spurs.
But that's how they like
did it last year.
Yeah,
they did it last year.
It's how they like it. Yeah. I mean, if they wanted to be talked about, they would go out and get people to talk about them if that's what they wanted. But they don't. They like being under the radar. Right now, it seems like they would be out of the playoff race because you don't hear anything. And they're 40-12. They're the best team in the league.
Exactly.
It's amazing with Popovich and just how much control he has over that team.
Yeah. I mean, you look at these teams like that, and it's like, how are they not talked about?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is anybody, really not talking about how good they are right now?
There's a couple teams like that. Even in the East with the Pacers, we can say. The Bulls, very underrated right now. They're playing without their best player. And
D Rose supposedly might be coming back.
He's doing contact or stuff like that. And
so, And
then, I mean, the last year, it obviously hurt them that they didn't have him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they're different this year than they were last year. They're built now to play without Derrick Rose.
Oh, of course.
And that's big because, I mean, they lost to the 8 seed last year in the playoffs as the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Just looks like because of Derrick Rose being out. And now they're the 4th seed playing. They play the best defense in the league. I don't care if they're not stat-wise. Tom Thibodeau is the best defensive coach in the league. And then he's just made for playoff basketball.
Yeah.
That team is made for playoff basketball.
I mean, even, look at Denver. Denver's having a really good season. It was a good pickup with, So
they have a nice. And JaVale McGee is a very underrated, good center.
Yeah.
Iguodala, obviously we both love. I mean, he's an excellent player. Kenneth Faried.
He is so underrated. It's unbelievable. One of, I think, even maybe the most underrated.
He's a superstar that's not a superstar.
Of course. And the scary thing, his whole game was, that high-flying, athletic.
Yeah, when he first came.
Yeah. But now he's got a shot.
Yeah.
And which makes him even more dangerous.
And I think that's what people get stuck on. It's bringing him back to, just to relate it to something. Like when LeBron first came out, no one even talked about his defense just because he was, like the high flyer, getting all the points.
Yeah.
He was never on the defensive team in the first couple of years of the league. Iguodala is a straight superstar in his league.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
And gets absolutely no credit. People probably still think he's just a high flyer and a highlight reel kind of guy, but he's not. He's developed his game.
Yeah.
He's gave himself a mid-range shot. He gave himself a 3-point shot.
Oh, of course. I also want to talk about real quick. I want to get more into the Boston Celtics.
It's a very interesting story.
Yeah, I mean they lost Sullinger for the season with back surgery. They lost Rajon Rondo with a torn ACL.
Partially torn, it looks like now.
Yeah. So, and these guys have been, key to their success. I mean, Sullinger, he's
like an unsung hero kind of guy. Yeah. Like a fan favorite kind of guy.
Exactly. But Rajon Rondo, I mean, you can arguably say is the best player on that team.
Yeah. And that's just what's so confusing about this whole situation because before he got hurt, he was arguably playing his
the best he's
basketball,
ever been. Yeah.
And the Celtics were struggling.
Yeah.
He gets hurt, now they're on a 7-game win streak. So it's all confusing. Rondo was playing his best, they were losing. They lose their best player, now they're playing good.
Yeah, and it's not even like he was playing his best he's ever played. but it's not like it's just scoring.
Exactly. Yeah. He
His
wasn't
assists and his rebounds
exactly.
are up.
They were losing while he was playing the best.
I mean, he's got he's got I think the most triple doubles in the last 2 seasons or 3 seasons. For a point guard. I mean, that's the crazy thing.
How many? He got a few triple doubles in the playoffs last year.
Oh yeah,
he was going absolutely insane.
I think he had record in the playoffs.
So it's just you don't know. It's just very odd.
If you really think about it, maybe it's the teams like really, cracking down now. They're like, all right, we don't have our leader with the ball.
Yeah.
So maybe it's time to really
just slow it down.
Play as a team.
Yeah.
You see a lot more passing with them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even without Rondo, they're making that extra pass.
Yeah.
Paul Pierce is playing.
He stepped up really.
Yeah,
big.
he's playing better than he's played all year. Kevin Garnett is playing.
Stepped up
pretty well.
And it's tough to say what this team should do with Rondo now. Yeah, that's a difficult thing because
they were thinking about trading him before.
They were thinking about trading him before anyway, but I mean, if Rondo was okay with playing this kind of style, I don't know why they would get rid of him. If he's okay with slowing it down and making all the good passes and stuff like that, then I don't see why they should trade him. But you could see Rondo. He's a fast player. He's fast paced. He's always pushing the pace up. And the Celtics just aren't built that way anymore.
See, my thing is Pierce has 3 more years
at the most.
Kevin Garnett's got maybe 1 or 2 more years. So why not keep Rondo? He'll be
what I never
he'll be
understood.
The face of your franchise.
If you're trying to look for the future, why
would
you trade the future?
And it's like he's not a guy that it'll be hard to bring in other guys with, because
he makes people better.
Exactly. He's a passing player. He's just finally getting a shot down. Yeah. So it's like it would just make the whole team better.
And then
they started going young with the draft. They brought in Fab Melo and then Sullinger. So
they have a couple good young guys. They need to be kind of realistic. Even if they're the 8th seed, they're gonna get blown out by the Heat anyway. That's why they should try to move the veterans, because if they think they have their shot in the playoffs, they're absolutely crazy. I'm sorry.
Well,
I know they're the Celtics. I respect their history and everything, but they have no shot in the playoffs.
No.
Absolutely none.
No.
So why not try to get rid of the older guys if you're trying to rebuild for the future? It just doesn't make sense trading the future, trading arguably one of the best point guards in the league, who happens to be 4 or 5 years in the league only.
Yeah. Why
would you trade him to? I know you would get a lot out of him. I know that, but he's too good to trade.
Yeah.
He is. So you're not going to get equal value. That's
of course,
what it comes down to.
I know and they were talking about trading Pierce for Rudy Gay, but that went downhill because Pierce is too old. Nobody's as good as Pierce is, nobody's going to want to trade their best player for Paul Pierce. Or their, prospect for Paul Pierce. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with trying to trade the big guys, is they're just too old now.
Yeah, but we're going to take a break. We'll be back with some more other sports news and even some trade talks with the Knicks. We'll let you know when we get back.
Should I give up? Or should I just keep chasing pavements even if it leads nowhere? Or would it be a waste even if I knew my place? Should I leave it there? Should I give up? Or should I keep on chasing pavements?
It's crazy, man. I never would have thought music could have got us this far. Y'all have no idea.
And welcome back to the Tom and Jerry Show. Before we left, we had some news and trade talk with the Knicks. So here's Jerry with that.
Yeah, we've been hearing rumors about Shumpert maybe in trade talks. So I mean, I don't know if, and it's for for them to trade Shumpert, who's arguably their best defensive player.
Yeah,
and, I mean, and he's one of their youngest players who's been playing, pretty good. For them to trade him, I don't know if it's good for the Knicks. you know,
We don't know if it's like serious, like if they're really trying to
but
do this.
the thing is, they're trading for Jared Dudley.
Yeah, and you would hope they would see. I mean, maybe they're trying to squeeze a first rounder,
Yeah,
obviously, but
I don't
it
know
just
what
doesn't
they're
add up.
really. It's kind of crazy with their
for a team
thinking.
that's new to defense with the
Yeah.
Knicks to trade the best on-ball and off-ball
Yeah.
defender that you have, it
It's
doesn't
kinda-
make sense.
It,
And
it really doesn't. Like we were saying before, the Nets were seeking a trade for Josh Smith. We'll see how that goes. You know when the trade deadline is? I think it's Tuesday. Is it tomorrow?
I'm not sure.
But you know, like we were saying, you know, for Carmelo ended up coming out and saying that the Knicks don't need to make a trade. They, you know, I don't think they could probably make a trade, but I don't think
If losing in the playoffs is okay with them, then I guess I guess
See,
they can stay still.
now my thing is I don't mind trading Amon Shumpert for, you know, a decent player, but for Jared Dudley,
Yeah.
you know, don't get me wrong, he's a good shooter. But they have enough shooters on that team.
Yeah, and the thing is, we know what you're gonna get out of Dudley.
Yeah.
Shumpert's so young; he's still growing.
Yeah. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Exactly.
You know
What
really,
he can
like,
turn
what
into.
the ceiling
Yeah.
for him is.
I mean, yeah, he's very good defensively, but what, say, 2-3 years from now, he's turns himself into one of the best shooters in the league.
Oh, of course.
And I understand why Phoenix would want to make this trade. They've regretted not drafting him ever since they let him go, basically, in
Yeah.
that draft. So basically, ever since then, they've been on the Knicks trying to get him. So it may just be that, because when you look at what they would get, Jared Dudley in a first rounder for the best defender on your team.
You would hope at first round.
Yeah, you would hope you get that first rounder too.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't make any sense especially for a playoff run.
Yeah.
'Cause say, you know, if they meet up with the Heat, who's gonna get on Dwayne Wade
Yeah.
if Shumpert's not there? Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gonna cause a pretty big problem.
Yeah.
Not that they're gonna win anyway, but
But really, there's really no other. I mean,
yeah, just
trade.
a whole bunch of rumors right now
Yeah.
because of the deadline. There's
Yeah.
just a whole bunch of stuff flying around.
This is like my favorite time in any
Yeah,
sport. Like the
Oh,
trade
yeah, the
deadline is
deadline's-
always
yeah.
always fun to watch.
A lot of good players on bad teams looking
Yeah.
to get out
Yeah.
of their situations.
So you never know.
Yeah, especially like 5-6 years ago back then.
Oh, yeah.
Trade deadlines were really like you knew something
Yeah.
really big was gonna happen. It may not be like that so much anymore with all the caps and everything like that, but
Yeah.
I mean it's still a pretty special thing. So it's always something to keep your eye out on, especially
Yeah.
you know if your favorite teams, you know, in the top of their conference trying
Of
to
course.
add a piece. It's always exciting to
Yeah.
see.
We really haven't. This is the first show that we're not talking about football, but obviously we're bringing it back.
Yeah, we got you guys. Don't worry.
Michael Vick has signed a 1-year extension with the Eagles. Now, I said right from the beginning when they hired Chip Kelly that Michael Vick really is perfect in his scheme. You know, he likes that running quarterback. So I don't know what they're going to do with him and Nick Foles.
Yeah. And
Maybe.
another thing is though, like because of that offense Chip Kelly runs,
Yeah.
they didn't have any other real options for that.
Yeah.
Nick Foles isn't a scrambling quarterback, so it's kind of hard to run the read option, spread option when you don't have a mobile quarterback. So
Yeah.
maybe that's why they only did 1 year to see. You know, they'll do the
Yeah.
1 year, give it a test run, see how it goes, and then look into the draft for a running quarterback.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just
See
that.
what
That's what
happens.
I think personally, because I mean, nothing against Nick Foles. He had a nice year last year as a rookie.
He's a good
but
quarterback.
He is. I'm
he is a
giving
good
him that.
quarterback.
But just with what Chip Kelly brings
Yeah.
for an offense, it just makes sense to take Mike Vick because
Yeah,
there's no
exactly.
other option for that
Yeah.
kind of quarterback.
Also, we haven't really gotten to break the news with you guys. Rob Ryan was hired by the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
right after they fired Spagnuolo, they said they wanted to change from a 4-3 to a 3-4, and Rob Ryan's perfect for that.
Yeah. I mean, for Rob Ryan, you can't do any worse than the Saints did last year.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean,
It's only gonna
it's
get
always
better.
it's gonna be an improvement. He's
it's
gonna
only
look
get
good
better.
next
Yeah.
year. He's gonna look good.
Bolden comes out and says that he will not play for any other team. He is ready to retire if
Yeah.
the Baltimore Ravens.
And
cut
obviously,
him.
it would make zero sense, and I don't see Ozzie Newsome cutting their best wide
Yeah.
receiver. But just seeing that out of him, it really makes you happy as a
Yeah.
Ravens fan.
I mean,
Those are the players you want on your team.
yeah. I mean, you really look at it. Will he actually retire, or is he just saying that just to,
Yeah.
maybe put a fire under?
And I'm not going to get on this too long, but I just wish. I know Flacco wants to get paid. I know he
Yeah.
earned it. I get it, but to push $20 million a year for 5 years just hurts your team more than anything else.
Exactly.
And I just want him to see that if he takes 10, 15 million a year, how much he's going to help that team.
Yeah.
'Cause they have so many other free agents that everyone's wondering if they're going to be able to sign him because of how much Flacco's asking for.
Yeah.
So it's a tough situation right now, but Ozzie Newsome's one of the best GMs in football, if
Yeah.
not the best. I have faith in him more than anything, so, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Also, other news: Vikings are looking to trade Percy Harvin.
Wow.
That's big because I think he is their best wide receiver on that team.
Before he got hurt, I mean,
Yeah.
he was...
So, we'll see what happens with that.
I think that's probably why they're trading him, just
Yeah.
health.
Also, do the Cowboys re-sign Tony Romo? My opinion, I think hands down, there's no question about it. Even if there was a decent quarterback out there,
No, yeah.
I don't think you.
It's not Romo's fault. It's
No.
Jerry Jones and
Yeah.
Jason Garrett's fault. Romo just gets the blame.
So, and obviously the extension will help the team in the cap issue with
Mhm.
because they're way over the cap. So it's gonna help a lot
Yeah.
with an extension. So we'll see what happens with that. But best time of the year, pitchers and catchers
Yes.
report
it's coming.
tomorrow.
It's coming. I saw a commercial yesterday for the Baseball Tonight thing that they did.
Yeah.
They travel all around.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets you.
It's
gets you going a
the
little.
best time of the year. Best time of the year, pitchers and catchers.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens if anything good happens. Obviously, there's nothing but bad happening with baseball right now
Yeah.
because of the steroids and everything. And then also Papelbon comes out and says that he was getting shots of Toradol or whatever you call it with the Red Sox, which is a painkiller and anti-inflammatory. It's not illegal.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfectly legal, but there is complications with it, health complications, and I think it's frowned upon by the MLB. So I mean, honestly, I don't know why they come out why Papelbon would say that, especially that it's illegal, that it's legal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just adding,
yeah. I mean, no matter what any sport bans, or says is illegal to use, players are gonna find something
Yeah, of
that
course.
is legal to use. So it gets to a point where it just basically just stop.
Yeah.
I mean, you have all the testing now. Everyone appreciates that.
Yeah.
That likes clean baseball, but with all these reports and the Florida guy with his store, just stop. Everyone just stop.
Exactly.
Just play baseball. But on a brighter note, there was a signing for baseball, an extension with King Felix.
Well, actually, it's not.
It's not done yet because they're looking at his elbow.
They're concerned with his elbow, so we'll see what happens with that. But there was also
and they have good reason to be.
With the Yankees and CC Sabathia, they have a clause in his contract before they signed it with his elbow.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's probably what they're trying.
They're looking into do that with Felix Hernandez. Honestly, it is a lot of money, but if anybody is worth that kind of money, it's definitely him. I mean,
there's nothing you can say that.
No.
I mean, yes,
The
obviously.
guy puts up the numbers.
Yeah,
so.
obviously, it's a ridiculous amount of money. We get that,
Yeah.
but, that's just how baseball is these days.
Exactly.
But besides the fact of how much it is, like you said, if there's one guy deserving, I mean, it's that guy.
Yeah. The Indians agreed to a deal with Daisuke Matsuzaka and Jason Giambi. Can't get any older than that.
Wow, that is flashing back right
Oh,
there.
Oh, yeah. So,
it's a good time of year, though. Like you said, I
Yeah.
mean, baseball's coming around. Nice weather will be here soon, so
Yep.
it's always exciting, especially now with the nice little run my team had
Yeah.
last year with the Orioles. So this is the first time in basically my whole life I've actually been, I mean, you always look forward to a start of a season, but
yeah.
when being a realistic fan, I was, by like June, I was like, we're done.
Yeah.
But coming off of last year, I mean, I got some high hopes
Yeah.
for that young team.
Francisco Liriano signed with the Pittsburgh Pirates. He could earn up to $13.75 million.
Wow.
He's guaranteed $1 million under his contract. So we'll see. He's always got injury problems. So.
He was really lights out before those injuries.
For real, I know.
It's a shame.
He was one of the best pitchers in
He
the
was
league
just
before
a
the
young
injuries.
Johan.
Yeah,
When Johan
really.
was on that team with him, that was probably one of the dirtiest 1-2 combos you can have.
Oh yeah.
And they were like the same type of pitcher. Like Liriano had that change up, but it's elbow problems, man.
Exactly. But that is about it for our show. I want to just take the time to really, let you guys know what's going on. We're pretty much going to get our show onto allnoiseradio.com. We will let you know more information about a time slot.
Yeah.
And, a day that our show will be airing. We are thinking about maybe doing, because we only do one show for All Noise, but we are looking into, maybe even doing one show for YouTube, one show for All Noise during a week. So we'll let you guys know what's going on, but we will love the support if you guys can give it to us.
Always.
So, hopefully something can come out of this for us.
Yeah, and like we said, once we know more about, the day
We'll definitely
we're on,
we'll
stuff like
definitely
that.
let you guys know. It's maybe even looking like coming next week.
Yeah.
So, we will let you guys know.
This is a nice step for the show, and this is what we want to do with our lives. So
this is big.
it's the first step, and it would be nice to have the continued support that you guys have shown us.
Yeah. Just please keep listening to our show. Hopefully, you guys like it.
Yeah.
If you guys don't, let us know what you don't like about it.
Yeah.
We'd like to change.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's all about feedback. We want to hear, what you guys think.
Of course. But that is about it for the Tom and Jerry show. I am Jerry.
And I'm Tom.
Be breezy. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Tom and Jerry show.